You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Old School Wrestling After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Old School Wrestling After Show.
Hit it. We're making him famous.
Wow. Yeah.
I went to his engagement party last night.
Oh, yeah?
He's getting married in August.
How'd that wish him luck?
He's turned into a man, and he really speaks up for himself now. I'm very proud of him. He's doing very, very well. Well, okay, we're here at Old School Wrestling with the Old School Girls. The Old School Girls. And I'm Ric Drasin, and you're not. And the lovely Patricia Summerland next to me again.
Again.
I think she's attached to me by the hip, the hip or something. And then we have the wonderful Ballard brothers after the holidays, after the New Year.
Yes. Hello.
Glad you guys are back for 2013.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd make it, but we made it through. The Mayans were wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
start off the year right.
Yeah.
As opposed to left, yes.
He thought like the world was ending at 12/21, so he emptied out all his bank accounts. He was like, he just wanted to be safe.
Would you add it with $1.298?
If you need a place to ship the money, you can bring it to me, honey. I'll let you.
Well, that's about all I have to say about Old School.
All right. Thank you guys for coming out. Somebody please call us.
On some of these indie shows that you guys are doing, do you notice that any of the matches are going back a little bit to more selling like that? Are they still doing the same thing?
No, they're getting worse.
Are they really?
Yeah, a lot of because they're tuned into the fact that they think. Well, for one, they see these matches like TNA type matches or
like Ring of Honor,
or Japanese like Dragon's Gate style matches, and those are really exciting to watch. But they don't realize these guys, Dragon's Gate, they go on tour for 30 days doing the same match. So when it's on the pay-per-view, they've already wrestled like 30 times, and
so it's like flawless when they do it.
So they're trying to emulate that, and it's more about what can I do, how can we pop the crowd. Rather than how can we tell the story, how could we get these people remembering us when and want to come back and see us. The whole key is you want people to actually, they're paying money, they're paying 10 or 20 American dollars.
Yeah.
Can somebody we need some help over here. Duct tape.
Just fall off my little
10 or 20 American dollars to see you wrestle, not specifically you, but the whole card. It's like you've got to do something to make them want to come back, and they'll come back if it's like your brother or your aunt or your mother that's coming to watch you. But if it's a wrestling fan, you've got to give them a reason to come back and see you. And if you throw it all out on the table like what everybody's doing, and everyone wants to have a WrestleMania style match every single show, it's like you can't. For one, you're not gonna be able to top yourself, and two, they're gonna. It's what a Japanese promoter once told us, like from 0-1. He's like, why do you, a friend of ours asked him, why do you not like Dragon's Gate? He liked the old school, like, New Japan 0-1. It's like, no, I go watch, 2 matches. I'm full. Mm-hmm. So it's really like you're giving these people like, a 5-course meal right off the bat. And instead of starting with the salad, you're starting with a loaf of bread. Yeah. So it's like, I think that's the state where it's going. I mean, we try to bring it back as much as possible. We throw in, interesting things in there, but we try not to, oversaturate it with things that shouldn't be there.
The other thing with some of the indie wrestlers today, there's nothing interesting about them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
they don't have the charisma or the it factor.
No.
They just all want to run out there and do all their spots and run home.
Yeah.
It wasn't like us TV folk.
No.
And also another thing that you see that's really prominent there is so many of them have you know, other people's finishers that they'll use. You know, they'll use like the RKO, and like 4 people on the show will have the RKO finisher. So it's just, it's, you know, it's like they're emulating all these finishing moves instead of coming up with something they like, or just saying, hey, I don't really have a cool finisher, I'm going to use a roll up. You know,
Yeah,
we've seen that in WWE, roll up many times.
Roll up and then kick out, and then roll up and then kick out, and the roll up and the kick out.
Yeah, but we've also seen on old school a clothesline and a pin.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe just a body slam and a pin, maybe the foot on the rope. You know.
I think, me personally, I think that's what wrestling needs. They need to bring back like a clothesline out of nowhere, not like you know, when JBL would throw his clothesline, that was a signature finish, but just hit a clothesline 1, 2, 3. A clothesline would all of a sudden now mean something. A backslide 1, 2, 3. A backslide now means something. Like hit moves,
sunset flip
out of nowhere, sunset flip, back elbow, something.
Anything that's used like in the like for a false comeback, anything that's used in there, a small package, a sunset flip, any type of thing should be done as a finisher at one point, and then then people will buy that, they'll believe it, because they'll think, oh, the last match, that's what happened, and that was the end of the match.
Yeah, everybody, all those fans, all those indie fans know now. They know that there's always going to be a comeback. They know there's a double down.
They know what to expect.
It's like they know it. So you give them what they don't like, what they don't expect.
Yeah.
Well, sunset flip comes after the backdrop. You do a backdrop or 1 or 2 backdrops.
Exactly.
A sunset flip, which kind of like ties that up.
Right.
It's a counter.
It's a counter to a
backdrop.
Yeah, and it's like that is a great analogy. No one does that. Or when people do an up and over, first you're supposed to run and shoulder him in the corner. So then later on, when you go do that same thing, the guy has already seen it, so he up and overs. Those moves don't mean anything anymore, because people are like, I want to throw that in because that would look really cool if I do an up and over and then hit you with an enziguri. They don't think about
the up and over. When you do that, you know what the up and over is?
Yes.
When they hit the corner, they come. Okay, and the other guy comes up underneath. Why is he going underneath? There's no reason for it, unless he's just trying to get out of the way. And then if he rams the shoulder or something, that'd be pretty cool. But
well, if he does it correctly, it's supposed to be that he's trying to run and shoulder him again, but like he's already in movement. So the guy like. Whoever does the up and over, which you know oftentimes or most of the time should be the face, he outsmarted the heel because he already was in that predicament.
An old school movie you don't see anymore. You know, you always do the universal spot. Everybody knows the universal spot. The marks know the universal spot. They go home, they can do it by themselves. But when you do the shoulder block and then you go to the other rope and you do a drop down and a jump over, many times old school the guy would jump over and stay there until the guy gets up, doesn't know where he is, take a headlock and take him over.
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore.
You don't.
No.
Play a little trick on him, you know.
Right, or a lot of times everybody tackles them and then runs to the right because that's what they think. Old school, they used to run straight. So I mean, the guy who got tackled had to be on his toes and make sure if he wanted to do a drop down, he had to get up quickly and meet him as he came off the ropes. And a drop down isn't like, oh, I'm going to do this because I have to. You're trying to trip the person.
Yeah, it's a move, just like everything else.
You're trying to trip him, but the guy, like, you know, as soon as he hits the ropes, he sees you and he's able to leap over you.
Yeah, I know.
They don't do that
It's too
properly.
predictable.
Yeah.
Even going, and you don't see much hold like you used to. You see some of it. But if you go into a full Nelson, for example, and they call it the master lock, you know, it's a full Nelson. That's what it is. And you drop an arm, spin around, do a snapmare into a chin lock. I mean, you don't see that anymore.
No, you don't. And another pet peeve of mine on this is more on the indie circuit about hold to hold or catch as catch can, is that the babyface is supposed to out wrestle the heel.
Right.
But you have the heel doing like really fancy, like, oh, I want to do this. I'll spin you around and do this, and then you do that. It's like, so it doesn't make sense.
No.
You're gonna make that face work really, really hard. You know, he's gonna have to be phenomenal to keep topping the heel.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly. The heel's there just to disturb the guy and then cheat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's his job. He doesn't know that many moves. He just cheats to win.
Yeah.
Babyface out wrestles the heel, and that's what hold to hold is for. Like, I mean, you could start off kind of equal, and the babyface all of a sudden starts getting the better of him.
And the heel is frustrated, and he comes back and cheats.
Exactly. Like, and he risks disqualification for the cutoff. Nowadays, the cutoffs are so fancy. Oh, I want to do a cutoff, but I've got to do this and do an up and over, and I'll catch you, and I'll go to run you in the corner, and you push me in, and we'll do all this. It's like, no, the cutoff should be, one, it should be out of nowhere, and two, it should be that you're so frustrated as a heel, you risk DQ, like you eye rake the guy in front of the ref, so he warns you, hit the ropes and blast him with the clothesline. that's you risk disqualification.
You don't see eye wrecking anymore, and you don't see the thing with ripping at the nose and the mouth, which is a heel move.
Yeah, we do that. Fish hooking.
Yeah.
We still do that, yeah.
I called it a rip snorter.
Well, we did all that. I mean, we had biting and everything, for instance. You know, I mean,
well,
I know.
Yeah, but you're talking about something else. We're talking about wrestling.
even pulling the tights. Years ago, I mean, everybody.
No, we didn't do that.
The fans would see oh, he's got the tights, you know, and they'd like get all upset about it. But you don't see that anymore. Those are little gimmicks in the ring that make the crowd go crazy.
You don't. And here's another thing that is not done properly. If I'm a heel and I'm cheating, let's just say that I've got my knee, the babyface is on the ground, and I've got my knee over his throat, and I'm arguing with the ref, and the referee can't see me kneeing the babyface. Now, this is what happens all the time. The babyface just sits there and, like, you know, doesn't do anything. So the crowd, then they wonder why doesn't the crowd respond? If the babyface is kicking and going crazy, the crowd's going to be like, hey, ref,
Right.
look, he's choking him.
Right.
The babyface has to work. You don't see that. It's like you see people cheating and babyface is not even registering it. So why would the crowd? If I was out in the crowd and I was younger, I wouldn't say anything either.
Yeah, same with even in tag matches. You know, the faces on the outside wanting to get the hot tag, he's got to work just as hard as a baby on the inside, because if he doesn't, the people aren't going to want to see it. I mean, he's got to be frustrated and shows that he wants to get in there and kill those guys.
It's called
I've
a
seen
hot
people
tag.
just sit there like this on the corner waiting. They don't even put their arms out because they know the hot tag's not coming yet. So the you know, there'll be like a cutoff or something to get him back over. It doesn't even stick his hand out. Because,
You're right.
You know.
But you know, there's another move that they used to do in tag matches, and people don't realize this at all. If the heels were on one corner and the babies, the guys in the ring are wrestling, the heel that's outside the ring will step into the ring, and the fans go, he's coming in. And then he'll just, I'm just walking through the other side.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it would get them crazy every time. He's in, and they'd all go nuts.
And it's like you're getting me all fired up now, Rick. Now, there's another thing, and this is a thing a heel does to distract the baby so the heels could go in and cheat.
Right.
The heel goes and...
He's getting really worked up. He's beating up his mic.
The heel, like, steps in through the ropes, and the referee sees it and is like, so the babyface comes running in, the referee turns around, and to get the babyface out, heel switch or come in and cheat. And it's like, we've tried that. We've tried baiting people, and I'm like, I'm doing this. Like, come on. And they just, like, unless it's called... beforehand, they don't get it.
They don't know. Have you ever done the switch where you follow the ring and he goes in?
Lots of times.
See, that's the medics used to do that.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, wasn't Alex one of the
medics? He was our trainer.
Yeah, he was one of the medics. He was my tag partner for a while. Well, you knock out of the ring and then you go down to help the guy, and the good one gets in the ring because he's fresh, and the fans see it, but you know the referee doesn't, of course.
Right.
Those are great gimmicks.
Exactly. No,
We even have one where he powders out, he comes out backwards. We hug, reverse, and then the other one goes in. So it's like people, the fans know, but I mean, it's like kind of confusing in a way.
Yes.
They're like, hey, no, they switch.
That's good stuff. I think we have one video that we can run with Dick the Bruiser. Is that right, Marissa?
That's right.
Hi, Marissa.
And then we'll save the last one that I didn't know was on there. We'll run a few minutes of that later before we close out.
Guys,
no, that's not the one. That's later. We'll run that one later. But save that.
1 fall, 15-minute time limit. Let's introduce first the man in the ring, and later the man whom he will be meeting. With his back to the camera right now in a very bespangled outfit. He weighs in at 221 pounds, ladies and gentlemen, from Chicago, Illinois, Tiger Malloy. Tiger Malloy, Chicago.
Wow. Nice cape.
He's got them trumps pulled
more, 258 pounds, from Reno, Nevada, the world's most dangerous wrestler, the lethal grappler of the ring, Dick the Bruiser.
Listen to the boos.
They don't like Dick the Bruiser.
Boos. I don't like them either.
Instantly.
Yes. Are they saying boo or are they saying boo earns?
Bruiser giving Bob Luce, who is with us this evening, a little bit of...
I think you're saying boobs.
That cape reminds me of Freddie Blassie and his cape in the king when he came out.
See how Bob reacts to it.
Now, see, these are real crowd reactions, not like the piped-in noise that they put into
the piping in and that was back then.
You got to understand, he's a superstar, and he's
one of those guys that says what he wants to say, when he wants to say it.
I don't think he liked his trunks.
Because nobody can really touch him, you know. He doesn't really care if you don't like it or if you do like it. But, I mean, whatever he says, he's still
Snap the
#1 attraction.
There's a fish hook. He's fish hooking it.
That's what I'm saying.
In other words, some stars in localities are bigger stars maybe in that area, but when they get out of that area, they aren't so big. Now, Bruiser's the type of guy that can wrestle anywhere in the country and overseas and just draw the same pay.
See,
get his
when he attacked him, he's still on top of him. So that attack means it meant something.
He is a nationally known
so much you see an attack, and then the babyface turns it right around. The attack meant nothing.
More or less of a business where various sections have their own top men, and we can't see them on national TV, so we have to go to.
Man, look at that kisser on the Bruiser.
He's one of the few remaining big stars.
He's got a face that can stop a clock.
He's the type of guy you don't want to mess with in a bar.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for
I wouldn't want to mess with him at Ralph's either.
He's your butcher.
He looks like the butcher. Look at it. Is he pulling his trunks?
He's trying to put his hand down him.
Well, that was like when we had our match, Rick. Those are good punches, though.
Now, see, those are punches they get today. The guys don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Blows to the head, ladies and gentlemen, have completely.
He's got his hands in his mouth.
Malloy, almost to the same shade and consistency as his trunks.
No knee pads from either of them.
No. Dressed in crimson trunks.
How about those trunks were bought at Carl and Hildegard?
His face is.
Remember them? Carl and Hildegard, they made wrestling wear.
No.
All the way back in the 50s. I still have my stuff from back in the 60s.
Did it come up past your belly button?
Yeah, I wore it up over my nipples.
The impression of Bruiser's.
I like the referee's pants, though. I mean, those look like khakis from today.
I never paid much attention to the referee, what they wore, but they all wore something. They usually wore like Dickies.
Yeah.
That's it. And Dickies go way back.
Way back.
1920, so I'm sure it might be.
He doesn't keep his cool. Poor Malloy, he understands that.
So far, he's dominated the whole match.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at this.
And that's because he was able to attack
It
him.
just got really loud, didn't it?
Yeah.
Very loud.
No, it's your headset.
Well, he's not too happy with him. You know,
Another good punch. They used to throw a lot of forearms back then.
I hope Malloy's
Those were called forearm smashes.
Forearm smashes. But the forearm smashes look pretty good.
It has to be.
Oh my.
And goes right back on the outside.
I'm out of his way, I hope.
Look at that table. I mean, what is that table being used for anyway? That's not a thing.
That's for donuts and coffee after
Boy,
the show.
he's got a mean receding hairline or what?
We don't talk about that.
What the heck was that?
You know, we got to do something about Malloy's trunks.
Oh, see, they just said they're talking about
what's in it?
I know where he carries a blow or he carries that thing high.
No.
They even said the same thing about the high trunks. Depends on the size of the package that goes in those trunks.
That's right. That thing.
Where's he carry that thing?
You got that thing? No jock straps are needed.
That's a hard way to make a living.
That's right. That's certainly
A hard way to make a living.
I mean,
right.
I didn't have a jock strap. I had a Jacques Cousteau.
I don't know. I don't got any idea, but he keeps coming back. There goes the table.
That was the very first table breaking in pro wrestling history.
Comes down here and breaks the table.
That was an accident.
I know. It's like when I put your son Shane on the table. He's like, we're not supposed to break
See,
this.
there's a case again. He's working.
And it's like going into those turnbuckles gotta hurt because there's not much meat on those. Those turnbuckles that we had.
It's just tape.
Bruiser, that was one of his favorite targets, by the way.
Duct tape, which could fix anything.
Well, when you take the turnbuckles like that.
He used to go for the nose in pro football. That's why I think he still carries that tradition.
Duct tape is actually holding our brother Mark's truck together.
His nose is going to be a little bigger than it is.
Pro
I think it's
football.
swelling right now.
I guess he's not going to have any comeback.
Got a swell nose,
Oh, his
After
nose
that
is swelling.
punch,
Yeah.
he's not going to let him have it.
The policeman just said, "Come on, Tagger."
Come on, Tagger.
Why don't Bruiser just pin him?
Look, he's not giving him any room to breathe. He's like all over him, which
Yeah,
is
but he likes to.
good.
Woo. But that was like.
He must have been a jobber because I would have kicked out of that.
That's an old school squash match.
It looked like a leapfrog.
This match is over in 6 minutes and 49 seconds.
Thanks, Mercer.
6:49.
Stop it.
What a beating.
Yeah, see, that was just like an old school squash match.
Yeah.
He's the bruiser.
I don't know that was even televised with tape. I think it was probably filmed 16 millimeter.
Wow.
I looked at it.
Because videos didn't come out until like
1980 something.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. No, I mean, because I lived at the beach, and when I had done Rick's Corner, I said I wished I would have had videos, and that was in '69 through about '79, and cameras had just come out around mid-'70s,
right?
And they were the betas.
I remember.
So you couldn't really do anything.
We still have one.
We need to do a little iTunes there. Yes, we do.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, yeah, we don't hear, but we just know it.
Then do it, because I have another video to run.
Well, go ahead.
No, you do it.
Oh, everybody out there, and rate and do comment on us, because we are here to serve you guys and talk about wrestling and old school wrestling. So please rate and comment. Tell your friends and their friends and more friends and friends and friends. And if you don't have friends, tell them too. Please. iTunes.
Yes,
if you don't have friends, you can add friends on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or MySpace. I think we have a great lineup here, and you guys should rate and comment on this lineup. Rick is a legend. And in
my own mind,
the things he says about my brother are oftentimes correct. So I like it.
That when they're good, when they're good.
When they're good. Yeah. Okay, I have a little special video to run for you that somebody sent me, and I'm very, very surprised, but very flattered.
Oh.
And it was very crazy. And Marissa happens to have it in there, but it's pretty flattering. Listen to this.
Video for Rick's Corner, one of my favorite channels on YouTube.
Whoa.
Ric Drasin is a legendary bodybuilder, wrestler, movie star, just an all-around amazing guy. I love the interview he did with Joe Weider, the Master Blaster. He did a phenomenal interview, very insightful, very in-depth with 1983 Mr. Olympia Samir Banu, the Lion of Lebanon. I like the video with Boyer Coe. I've always liked Boyer Coe. The split biceps. I wish he would have asked Boyer why he skipped out on the 1981 Mr. Olympia, because everybody knows that Zane and Menser didn't go, but he didn't go either. But that's cool. I really like the interview again with Joe Weider. I just can't tell you how cool that was. I would really like to see him interview Dave Draper, who I think is just like God. The interviews with Robbie Robinson, those are the best. Anything the guy does with Eddie Giuliani, whenever Ric Drasin and Eddie Giuliani do a video, I mean, I've seen them like hundreds of times, and I hope Dave Palumbo from RxMuscle.com, the great Dave Palumbo, would consider, if Rick and Eddie would consider having a radio show every week or even every month or quarter annually or however they want to do it, because I just think whenever Ric Drasin and Eddie Giuliani do something, at least as far as I'm concerned, it's a masterpiece, whether they're just sitting at a bench outside of Gold's Venice reminiscing or walking around Venice or talking about the Golden Era. There's just something about those two that when you put them together, I mean, I think it should be a crime that they don't have a radio show or a TV show or something. I would really like to see an interview with Lou Ferrigno. I would really like to see Ric Drasin training with Arnold. Who wouldn't? I would like to see an interview with Jimmy Pelleccia, the Barbarian Brothers, Mike Christian. I would like to see an interview with Tom Platz, the rebellious Tom Platz. There's just so much. I don't know if John Balick would do something like that, or Ruth Silverman or something. I would just like to see Rick talk to everybody, and of course Rick has his own wrestling school and a lot of ventures, but I mean, this guy, if you had the time, Rick, if you're watching this, massive respect to you. If I'm ever in if I'm ever in Venice, I'd buy you lunch like every day of the week. I mean, it's just
take him up on that.
Take him up.
To you, and just the guy is just just insane. He's like a walking, living legend. And I love his channel. I love his videos. I have a wish list that's like this big of people that I wish he would interview. And of course, seriously, my biggest wish of all would be for the great Dave Palumbo, which I don't say condescendingly, to consider giving Rick and Eddie Giuliani, who I'm sure may have not even discussed this, a radio show. Because I think, honestly, it'll just be through the roof ratings. People will love it. Everybody loves the golden era of bodybuilding. I love listening to Rick talk about eating cottage cheese and egg whites and steak and all that shit, and all that stuff. Everybody loves the nutrition from those days. Everybody loves the training from those days and the jobs, and I don't think people really care about the steroids that much from those days. Everybody's talking about steroids and growth and synthol and all this shit nowadays because the guys nowadays are freaks, and that term actually isn't really so much a compliment anymore. I mean, as time evolves and these guys become less and less human looking, the term freak, I actually think, is becoming more and more derogatory. But the freaks in the golden era, those are the freaks people aspired to look like. That's the look that people wanted. You know, it wasn't just because Arnold was in the movies. I mean, you look at those physiques, and that's what you want. I mean, I look at Ric Drasin's videos from the 70s and the 80s. That's the physique people want. You know, the big shoulders, the narrow waist, the flaring quads. I mean, that's what people want, where you could, you know, wear a sweatshirt like Bob Harris and sweatpants, and you could still see the muscular body. You didn't have to wear, you know, a string tank top and Lycra shorts, you know, and walk around with your atomics all over the.
My brother does that.
The physique was so there that even if you hit it, you still saw it. You could be modest and still be confident and proud. I mean, I didn't live it. I've just lived a glimpse of it through Ric's Corner, and I love it. So imagine how cool that would be to have it every week or every month or even quarter annually on the radio, Ric and Eddie on the air. That would be cool. Anyways, Ric and Eddie are not on the air, but Ric's Corner is. So check out Ric's Corner on YouTube and at rxmuscle.com. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Strength Addicts, leave comments below, and
that's pretty nice, huh?
Yeah.
Strength Addicts.
Quite flattering.
Oh, nice.
I brought up a name from the past, Mike Mentzer. He owned Muscle Mill, right? Do you remember him?
Mike Mentzer and his brother both died.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Did he own Muscle Mill back in the 80s?
Yeah, there's a gym we used to go to called the Muscle Mill.
I think he might have.
In Redondo Beach?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Our dad used to make gym equipment for Marina Gym. I don't know if you remember Marina.
I remember that.
A guy named Mickey.
Mickey Bacon.
Well, we're being pushed off the air.
Yes.
I guess that guy he took way too much of our time. It was definitely flattering, and I thank you for doing that video. That was very, meant a lot to me. So, we'll be able to find Patricia where, honey?
Here on AfterBuzz, of course, every Sunday. Come watch us, all of us wonderful folks.
And you?
The 25th of January, we will be wrestling somewhere. We haven't found out which place yet, but we'll be wrestling somewhere. And hi, Michelle Cool, if you're watching in Colorado.
So gay. So effing gay.
He's got something going there. I'm not sure what it is. And you,
he's been
my
smiling.
Yeah, no, just I'm gonna try and lose these holiday pounds because I have put on a few pounds and I'm not very happy about it.
No, it's back to the hard diet.
Yeah.
And you think that black beanie's gonna throw it off or what? You think it makes it look slimmer?
I put this on because
all the way black.
I have gotten zero amount of sleep, so
it's all right.
Yeah.
Where can you find me? Do you know where? RicDrasin.com.
Yes.
And Ric's Corner.
And Ric's Corner.
And then Actors Entertainment on January 10th with Patricia and I. You'll be able to
we'll be there
live
too.
streaming video interview on acting and all the other things that go with it.
Come please watch us.
And then we'll be here next week at the same time, same station, bringing you some hot tips from old school wrestling.
And you'll be eating lunch with that guy every day of the week.
Actually, he's on the East Coast, but I asked him if you just give me a credit card, I'll go eat by myself.
And Shannon will be dancing every week.
Yeah, she'll be dancing at the table. She'll be my waitress. Thank you for watching Old School Wrestling.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.